Welcome to Unbreakable Latina. Hi guys, welcome back to Unbreakable Latina. This is your host Melina. I hope you're having an amazing day, whatever day you're listening to this. If you're listening to this on Monday, today is my little sister's birthday, so happy birthday, Roxy. She's turning 26, and that just means I'm getting older. I can't believe that she's 26. Like, that's crazy to me because when I was 7, she was born, so we're 7 years apart, and I was so excited the day that she was born. I remember that my mom and my dad kept the gender a secret, and not a secret, they didn't even know themselves because it was going to be their last baby and they wanted it to be a surprise. So it definitely was. And for the longest time, my aunt and my dad would say, it's a boy, it's a boy. And I kept saying, no, it's a girl. And I remember the particular day when she was born, which was July 10th, 1997. I was outside with my tia Elida and we were hanging up like towels and clothes because we didn't have a dryer back then. And I heard the phone ring and I ran inside because at that time we didn't have cell phones. So yeah, that's aging me. And I remember picking up the phone and my dad's like, the baby's born. Guess what it is? And I was like, it's a girl. It has to be a girl. Duh. And of course, it was a girl and it was my sister. And I was so happy and I was so excited. And I am so proud of the woman that she is becoming. And she is my little ride or die and forever will be. And I hope that she has an amazing year because she deserves it. So happy birthday, Roxy. You better be listening to this podcast because if not, I'm not gonna ask you. I'm just gonna be like waiting for you to say, oh, you gave me a shout out. I'm just kidding. But anyways, I had a busy week per usual. You guys already know me. I realized that with this podcast, it does take a lot of time from my life. Like I do work a full-time 40-hour job Monday through Friday. And I did have a holiday last week, but even with the holiday, I just feel like you want to do more, like hang out with family, hang out with friends, and I cramped all my weekend like hanging out with friends and family. Next thing I know, it's already the weekend that I have to work on the podcast. I had to take pictures for the merch drop. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram and TikTok, go and follow me. I did do a merch release like video or a video just promoting that the drop will be on Friday, July 14th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you mark your calendars, put your alarms because there's only a limited supply. The pullover sweatshirts are super cute. They're super simple, easy to style with any outfit. So I'm excited about that. I love simplicity. Let me know what type of other merch you guys want. I'm working on some other shirts right now. I'm more of a simple girl, so I like simple designs, and that's what I'm going for because I feel like people are like, wait, what's that? Like, what does unbreakable mean? And they look so cute, and I'm super proud of them. I know it took a while, but your girl was going through it, so be patient with me. I'm getting there. I'm a one-woman show, so I have like a lot to do. Like yesterday, I really wanted to record this episode y no pude porque estaba cansada. Like I honestly attempted. It was like 9 p.m. and I was sitting here and I was recording and honestly, I couldn't even talk. Like I was exhausted. So today I woke up early, did my makeup, did my hair because we're going to brunch for my sister's birthday. And I was just like, we're going to get this done today before I leave. So this is happening. I want to say thank you guys so much for all of you who are new here that came from YouTube or from TikTok. I guess video podcast is where it's at because the video podcast clips did pop off on TikTok and on Instagram. And thank you guys for being so vulnerable and sharing your stories about toxic relationships that you've been in. And it means a lot to me that there was so much positive support. Of course, there's always like those little trolls here and there, like people making fun of the way I said, I accepted. Yeah, this is how I talk. Okay, if you don't like it, then don't listen, but you don't have to be rude about it. So I just blocked those people. And Anyways, it made me really sad that so many people have been through toxic relationships, but I also am proud that I am sharing my story and that others are sharing their story so that way people see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And although it seems like you can't get out of that relationship right now, you will. And you can't force somebody to get out of a toxic relationship. So many people try to like get me out, and until I was ready, I left. And that's a moment that you'll know. You'll understand when you're ready to walk away. And hopefully it's real soon because no one deserves to be treated that way. What else is new? Nothing else is really new around here. Like I said, I've just been working on the merch, getting the website ready for the launch, and just doing little collabs here and there that are have been taking my time. So when people say I don't want to work for anyone else, I want to be my own boss, just know that that means you're going to work extra hard and you're going to work 7 days a week because your girl has been putting in that OT, let me tell you. But the positive thing about that is that it's something that I truly enjoy. So it, it fills my cup. So that's all that matters. And I'm happy doing it. And I hope that one day, mark my words, I have my own studio and that I could do this full time because it truly is a passion of mine. And once I have more time, I feel like I'm able to do more guests. And I know I've been saying that for a long time, but it gets complicated because your girl, she's just a busy socialite. No, I'm just kidding. But like, even though my family's small, we always have something going on. And I will never say no to family time because, like, I always tell you guys that life is short and spend it with the people that you love. So if my family's having something or they're hanging out, like, I'm definitely going to prioritize my family over this. And to some people, it might be like, well, that's your problem, Melina. You don't prioritize a podcast. But priorities are me, my family, and then the podcast. And I just feel like although it's a passion of mine, I do have to prioritize my health and my family and just spending time with them. So, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just rambling at this point. Anyways, today's topic, I wanted to talk about something that I've heard over the years, been told to me by family members, by other people I don't know, by my parents, que qué va a decir la gente. And I think that that phrase is so familiar in our culture, and people always are going to talk about you no matter what. No matter if you're doing good, no matter if you're doing bad, it doesn't matter. People are always going to talk. But this phrase affects a lot of us because I feel like when your parents say, ¿qué va a decir la gente? You start second guessing yourself. Like, let's say you're very excited about an idea that you have and you share it with your parents, and all of a sudden they're like, ¿pero qué va a decir la gente si haces eso? And growing up, I remember like so many times, especially my dad. My dad would use this phrase so much. And I think it comes from them living in a small town, very close knit, like communities where people were always judging others. And I'm not saying that judging doesn't go on now, but it was easier to talk about others because everybody, like, knew each other. I personally don't know my neighbors, and I like to keep it that way. My dad, I remember this particular time when I was a college student, and your girl was a party girl. I partied heavy from when I was like 17 all the way till I was 23. Party phase, club after club, and house party after house party. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we all have that not bad phase, but like you stay out later than you're supposed to and you get in trouble. But I remember this particular time I got home like pretty late and my dad was sitting in the couch and he was like, ¿Qué horas son de una mujer decente venir a estas horas a la casa? Esta casa no es un hotel. ¿Qué va a decir la gente? So basically, in translation, if you don't speak Spanish, my dad was sitting on the couch waiting for me one night. And he was like, what kind of time is this to be coming home? Like a decent woman shouldn't come at this time. What are people going to say? And I remember it made me feel really shitty because it felt like my dad thought I was doing like hood rat stuff, which I was. No, I'm just kidding. But I wasn't. Like I was probably like at Denny's or like at a Jack in the Box parking lot eating tacos. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but you know how when you're a teenager, like you just want to stay out because that's a cool thing to do. But the thing that offended me the most, it wasn't that I got in trouble. It was that my dad was so worried about what people were going to say. Like, what will people say about me that you're my daughter? And I think that I was just like, I don't care what are people going to say? Like, I know what I'm doing and I know I wasn't doing anything bad except underage drinking, but that's besides the point. Don't do it, kids. But I wasn't doing anything horrible. Like, it's what kids did at the time. I'm not enforcing underage drinking, but I'm thinking of this in the bigger picture, okay? I'm thinking about the fact that, like, why do you care so much about what people are going to say about you? Because I'm the reflection of you? And I remember, like, I was super offended by that. And, like, I started thinking, like, why do they care so much about what other people think? Because I really don't care that much about what people think about me. And I think that question, ¿Qué va a decir la gente?, stops us so much from achieving dreams that we've had. I actually read a quote that said, ¿Qué va a decir la gente? Ha parado más sueños que nada. And I feel like that's so true because when I started this podcast, well, before I started the podcast, I always thought, what are people gonna say? ¿Qué va a decir la gente? And although I'm this like, oh, like you shouldn't care about what people think, there's a part of you that will always care about how others perceive you and what are people gonna think about you sharing your traumas, Melina, to the whole world. Like, I never told anybody my traumas, let alone the whole world. So now the whole world knows my traumas. And but before that, I was so afraid of what are people going to say. But I had a dream, with the podcast to share my stories and to make people feel less alone with any topics that I covered. But that kept, like, that was instilled so much in me that it took me years to start this podcast. Like, I remember I wanted to start this podcast. How old was I? I had to be like 27. So I started until like 5 years later. And I remember I kept finding like, oh no, like I shouldn't do it because what are people gonna say? And what if, like, someone finds out and they tell my family and blah blah blah, and then drama. But this is my truth and this is my life. So the day that I stopped caring about what people thought is the day that I started living my life truthfully as the person that I am. And I know that there's a lot of people who are, they don't want to be cringy. Like, for example, when I started creating content on TikTok and on Instagram, I was so hesitant because I thought to myself, what are people going to say? This 30-something-year-old, she's on TikTok doing little dances and promoting her little podcast. But you know what? Little by little, like, it's not easy. You're not gonna one day like just switch and say like, oh, I don't care what people think, me vale lo que diga la gente de mí. But little by little, you're gonna build up to it. And the less you stop caring about what people think, the more your life is gonna be better. Because I am truly living right now my true life. Because for the longest, I did have that little voice in back of my head that said, ¿Qué va a decir la gente? And if I would have listened to that voice, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of this camera right now doing this podcast. So if you've been holding back from, let's say, like you went to school, you got this job, and you have your degree and you're working this job, but it's killing you inside, and you're like, I'm so miserable, but if I quit, what are my parents gonna think? What are my relatives gonna think? Who cares? It's your life. No matter what, you have to accept the fact. Accept, let me say it correctly before the trolls come for me. You have to accept that people will always have something to say. To me, it's hilarious when I hear like people talking about other people's kids. Like, I hear it all the time from different family members, from friends, from whatever. Like, oh my God, did you see blah blah blah's kid did this? Have you seen your own kid? Like, people will always have something to say because they're so afraid to like live their truth. They're so busy hiding who they are. And one thing I learned, that the people that talk the most crap or say the most, like, try to criticize you, are the people that are insecure with themselves. And those people are the ones that are always going to find something to nitpick at you. I remember when I started the podcast that so many people told me, like, oh my gosh, like, you're really doing this? Like, I can't believe how vulnerable you're being. Like, don't you think it's gonna hurt, like, your mom's feelings or your dad's feelings or your siblings' feelings? And I did think about that. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a relationship with my dad, so I didn't get to give him a heads up. But I did give my mom a heads up. I said, hey, I'm starting this podcast and I apologize in advance if it hurts your feelings. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about with you, like, please let me know. And every time I would upload an episode, I would always like say, hey mom, today I talked about this. Are you okay with it? And like, there was a few times where we had differences where she was like, I don't like that you said that or whatever. But we talked about it. And if I would have let all those people that were like, what are your parents gonna say? What are your siblings gonna say? Stop me from like doing this, I would not be here where I am today. There's so many things. If you're in a relationship where people are like, if you leave him, what are people gonna say? Leave him. If you leave her, what are people gonna say? Leave her. Like, this is your life, and we have to stop caring about what people think about us because it's holding us back. It's holding us back from being our true selves. And ways to stop caring is to know your values, know what you stand for, and believe them. And if someone has something to say, that's okay. We don't all have to agree on everything. If we all agreed on everything, imagine how boring the world would be. There would be no controversy. Everybody would just be like getting along with everybody. There won't be no drama. It wouldn't be a novela like this life is. So it'd be boring. But you just have to do what you want to do and screw what everybody thinks. And whatever people say, they're always going to say something, whether you're doing good, whether you're doing bad. People are always going to find something to nitpick at you. So next time someone tells you que va a decir la gente, que te valga. So if people tell you, what are people going to say about anything that you're doing, don't let them. And I hope that this message, comes at the right time. If there's something you've been thinking about or putting off on doing, like moving in with your boyfriend. Oh my gosh, let me talk about this one. I forgot about this one. But I remember when I moved in with an ex-boyfriend, my mom was like, no estás casada, you're not engaged, no estás prometida, blah, blah, blah. ¿Qué va a decir la gente? And I was just like, well, what are they going to say, that I moved in with my boyfriend and I'm a hoe? I don't know. Like, my mom said, ¿qué va a decir la gente que te moviste con tu novio y que no estás casada? And I told my mom, like, honestly, I really don't care what people have to say. Like, they can say whatever they want to say. This is the way I want to live my life, and I really don't care about what anybody thinks. And I'm grateful that I stood up for myself, because what if I would have got married and I would have been like, no, I can't move in with you until I'm married? I would have been divorced by now. I was young and I was in love. So to me, I didn't care. But I always think, like, when people say, that's something huge in our community where people judge you if you move in with your boyfriend prior to marriage. And I think personally, I do think that you should live with someone before you marry them, just because of my experience. Granted, if the relationship is going to move forward that way. Would I recommend you living on your own first? Yes, definitely. Always live on your own first. And I did. And then I lived with a significant other, and we figured out that it didn't work out. So I remember when my mom said that, I was just like, I really don't care. Like, why are you so concerned about what other people think about me? You know the type of person that I am. You know that I'm a good kid, and it doesn't matter to me. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope that this message helps anyone that is worried or something's holding you back from you following your dreams, because what are other people gonna say? People will always have something to say. I'm pretty sure people are like, oh my god, look at this little tiktokera, like, anda, like, embarrassing herself on TikTok. But you know what? Those people are not paying my bills. Those people are not getting me my collabs. Those people are not building a community like I am. So they can say whatever they want to say. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And don't forget to put your order in for the Unbreakable Latina pullover sweatshirts that will be released on Friday, the 14th at 9 a.m. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you're watching me on YouTube, please comment below and like this video because it means a lot to me. This is a lot of work and I love doing this, but you guys doing that will keep me going because honestly, sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna quit, but then I have all you guys like rooting for me and it keeps me going. So please do that for me. Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.